Hey man, what is with all these speed limit signs? School zones? There's one here, there's one there. Starts, stops. What is up with that?
Negative K, nothing further, just kitty candy on the corner. 378205846.
And we're back with another episode of Ask the Evans Cop with Sergeant Shane Hawley, and we are going to talk about school zones.
Okay.
And this is a topic we've actually talked about before, but this particular question had to do with on 76th Avenue West, when you've got a bunch of schools next to each other, in particular College Place Elementary, which is technically in Linwood, right?
Yes.
Sort of. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, it's in Linwood.
Definitely in Linwood.
It's
and then
in
you
Linwood.
get to College Place Middle, which is
also in
Linwood. But
is this the Ask the Linwood Cop segment? I'm confused here. What's going on?
well, why are we doing this question? Because people are all over the place and driving all over the place.
Yeah.
But
it's just lines on a map.
I know, it's true. And the question is when do those zones stop and end, and how do drivers figure out kind of when they're supposed to speed up and slow down? And anyway, it's a mess. You could tell us more.
Okay. Yeah. What a setup. It's a mess. Please fix it. So the question we spent some time with from the viewer, kind of trying to unpack. Okay, what's the question? And we actually went out and looked at the area. Our traffic unit went out and kind of plotted where everything was. We looked at the RCW related to school zones. So we'll toss that out because I know fact checking. Everybody likes to fact check.
Yes,
these things.
they do.
So school zones and how they're structured is set up in RCW 46.61.440. And we need to look at section number 1 and section number 2. And that tells us that school zones run from 300 feet from the border of the school or playground.
Okay.
Okay. Section 1 talks about school zones extending 300 feet from the school's marked crosswalk. Now that could be a little further out than the actual edge of the school.
Sure.
Right? So when we went up there and looked at it, that's what we find, especially related to College Place Elementary. The school crosswalk is actually further out than the perimeter of the school.
Right.
So it's 300 feet from there
Okay.
on 76th Avenue West. Now, I came up with a little graphic for you, which
Right.
I gave you. So if that ends up on the screen, you can kind of see what we're talking about here. So I just came up with some boxes and outlined where they're at. Okay. So we have one of the schools, College Place Elementary is red on the box, and then College Place Middle School is yellow. And then what you really see happen is they overlap.
Okay.
So because of that 300-foot rule, there's not 300 feet of separation between the two schools.
Okay.
So if you're heading southbound on 76th Avenue West, coming up to College Place Elementary, you're not going to leave College Place Elementary's school zone, heading southbound.
All right.
You're actually going to run what would be into College Place Middle school zone. They just overlap. And then you will leave down around by the 7-Eleven. And then I also threw a blue box on the screen for you on that graphic because you also have Edmonds Woodway right there.
Right.
So you have a very, very small break in the school zone
Yeah.
before you get into Edmonds Woodways.
Right.
So
better off probably for everybody's safety just to stay slow the whole way, right?
yeah, that would be the best strategy. You know, lots of kids around there. We're talking about 3 schools packed into one
very small
area as far as that goes. And I know there's sidewalks and everything, but you know, safety is our number one thing. So just slow down. The difference between doing 20 miles an hour and 25 miles an hour, or 30, like just slow down. You're only saving a couple of seconds, and we just don't want to see anybody hit.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing the graphic. And
Oh,
thanks
yeah,
for
no
taking
problem.
so much time researching it,
Yeah,
even though
you bet.
some of it's in Linwood. Although, to be fair, Edmonds kids do go to College Place Middle, and
They do.
probably a few go to College Place Elementary.
Well,
as far as we know.
half the street is ours.
There you go.
So
That's true.
The
There's always
west, the
that.
west side of 76th
So
is
very
ours in front of the
confusing.
schools.
Yeah,
So
we won't talk. This is not Ask the Edmonds geography. lesson.
we could
But
could do a segment on that
I
if you
know.
want to know where the
It
boundaries
is
are.
very confusing. Okay, well, thank you again.
No problem.
We'll be back soon with another episode of Ask the Edmonds Co-op.